You're listening to the 23 Personnel Podcast, a Texas Tech athletics podcast where food and sports clash at the goal line. Here are your hosts, Spencer and Michael.
All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to an episode of the 23 Personnel Podcast. This is your host, Spencer, joined by Michael. Michael, what's up, man?
I'll tell you what's up. Bill Self just took a timeout, down 18.
Ooh.
With 15-11 left in the games. Texas Tech is up 51-33 against the Kansas Jayhawks at home as we fire up this podcast. How are you, sir?
I'm pumped. I'm so frustrated that we couldn't have caught that last 6-point run on the podcast on the stream. We were delayed 5 minutes because of something weird going on with YouTube. Had to restart it. Otherwise, we would have been talking while that was going on. You would have heard me clapping and yelling in the background.
I did actually.
I looked over. I was like, "Oh, I'm not on mute." So if you go back and listen to the very beginning of the stream, you may hear me clapping at least.
There were some very loud claps.
Yeah, one was right by the microphone. So, yeah. So we're doing this like we do other. Other games that are happening on a Tuesday evening. We're recording a day early because of Valentine's Day and other things going on this week. We are live in the second half of Kansas, so you'll hear us fumble through our podcast while we watch that, react to that instantly when it goes final. And then we will... Sorry, I'm looking at this no-look pass from Pop Isaacs. This is just a thing of beauty. He got a Darian Williams streaking baseline.
Oh, I know. That bounce pass?
No, Chance McMillan. Yeah, bounce. He was looking at him in the corner.
It's probably a carry. Probably.
If it was in Lawrence, probably.
It's fine.
It's okay to get some home cooking.
Yeah.
Against the Jayhawks, just some redistribution of the wealth here. Kansas takes not a bad 3, but clanks it. Just under 15 to go, so quite a bit of game left. But as we were getting ready to go, I asked Michael what he thought about our chances. He's feeling pretty good. I have been burned by hope before. I'm holding out a little bit longer because I think some regression can happen here, right? Because you got to this point, you had a big lead in the first half and it kind of dwindled a little bit going into halftime. Kansas got the lead down 10-9. You were up 9 at the break. You were just you were shooting lights out. You were 7 of 8 from 3. Kansas 1 of 11 or whatever it was. No, other way around. You were 8 for 12. They were 1 of 7 from 3. And then they couldn't really even get even close up shots to look easy. It was all difficult for them. So I thought your offensive output may slow down a little bit. Their offensive output may start to catch up a little bit. So you may see a little bit of a swing there, but so far, 5 minutes in to the second half, you are maintaining your lead. You built the lead up to 18. Ball movement has been excellent. Second half, you're hitting shots. You're rebounding the ball. You're not forcing a lot of turnovers necessarily, but you're also not turning the ball over. So,
yeah, and I feel like a lot of these threes, they're the right shot to take. Sometimes a 3 can feel forced, and you see your teammates making threes, and you think you're going to fire some up. But these are, like you said, because of the ball movement, have actually been really good shots, in my opinion. Very open shots, or the shooter has time to be set. I think there were a handful of times where I think Walton took one when he made the 8th 3 that I might have cringed a little bit at another time, because I think it was him and one other Tech player on that side of the court or at least around the key. They were kind of it was kind of a fast break three, but he drained it. So I mean, it's infectious at that point as well. But yeah, I've been impressed with the shot selection as much as I have been with the fact that they're hitting so many of them.
Speaking of good shot selection, Isaacs may have been touched on the shot, but he took a deep three attempt there and
Oof,
missed everything.
little air ball. It happens.
It does. It's okay because Kansas misses their shot on their trip up the court, and Tech gets the rebound, which is I'd love to see that, right? Like, oh,
They're fighting for rebounds, man. These last two games, big time.
oh, Kansas got saved. The ball went off of Furphy's hands. The ref kicks it, keeps it from going out of bounds, and Kansas recovers. Oh, and can't hit three bunnies. 4, 5. Ha! Tech grabs the rebound. Hunter Dickinson, his shooting percentage probably went from like 10% to 7.
He was
4%.
1 of 6 before that sequence.
He missed at least 3 of them. Oh,
He
McMillan.
can't hit a barn, man.
Sorry, I'm a little
Spencer's
ahead.
like 10 seconds ahead of me. So I'm laughing at what he was talking about.
Excuse me. I am recovering from a head cold. It was a little bit last week. It would have been unbearable to listen to me on Saturday. So I'm glad we didn't record then. So anyways, tonight we've got obviously Kansas second half, preview of Iowa State. I'm just going to say it's not going to look good. Whatever happens tonight, it will not really help your chances this weekend. Although shooting as well as you are tonight, I mean, it's nice. Can you take that on the road into Hilton? I don't know. You'd be facing one of the best defenses in the conference in Iowa State. But we'll see how we feel after tonight. And then baseball. We got baseball to talk about, Michael. So we need to get to that, or at least all things. Not football. Football season's over. Well, okay, I say that. Let's talk for a second about the Super Bowl, which we can say that, right? We're not.
Yeah, we're not advertising anything.
Yeah. The big
We're not
game.
having a Super Bowl party.
So that was last night. Our man Patrick Mahomes wins his 3rd Super Bowl and 3rd Super Bowl MVP. Do you know that he went to Texas Tech, Michael?
I've heard the rumors.
Okay,
I've heard the rumors. I was unable to confirm in person, but yes.
Well, I want to make sure that you knew that, because the world needs to know. I mean, the man went to Texas Tech.
In Lubbock, Texas, on campus.
Texas, on the campus of Texas Tech University. I have a
Two-sport
picture.
athlete.
I posted it on my Twitter today. Granted, this was after I was out of school. I was already working, but he was still in school. He came to visit me in my place of work.
Oh, that's right.
The Children's Hospital.
You guys go way back.
We do. This was back in 2016. This was like 8 years ago, man. We're besties.
That's right.
Funny story. The girl that took the picture worked in our department. Fantastic photographer. Walked around with us that day. Knew that Texas Tech, like that, they had athletes on campus. That's about the extent of her knowledge of athletics. Although she's the one that made the trip happen. She was very good about being proactive in getting athletes and special guests to come visit the Children's Hospital. No joke though. So we're in a side room getting ready. Like we're prepping the players. Like, hey, we're going to go around and we're going to see some sick kids. No, they're not going to be like real sick. We've already kind of pre-screened a lot of these kids. Are super excited to meet you. All that kind of stuff. And as we're kind of waiting to get everybody together and then upstairs, and we're going to go in 2 different groups. She's holding small talk with some of the athletes. She knows nobody in the room, right? At least like who they are. Talking to Patrick Mahomes, she asks him, "So, what position do you play?" And I was like, I heard her say that, and I was like, "Oh, Julie. Oh no, Julie."
Part of me thinks that's exactly who should be running that.
No,
it's someone who's just kind of oblivious to aside from, okay, we need to bring some athletes in here. The kids are going to like it. I think that's exactly so. So no one gets any special treatment. It's just, hey, you number 5, whoever you are, can you stand over there? What position do you play? Did
Cool.
Mac Brown say you'd be a good defensive back? Is that what was the? Anyway, I'm sure he handled it with class and dignity.
Oh, he did. He
He's
did.
a Red Raider, and
He kind of chuckled. The guys around him kind of gave him a hard time. But anyways, that was fun. We have a picture that we have printed and we've got it on our walls. He posed with a very special patient of ours at the time. And like that picture performed super well on our Facebook page, and it's one that we use a lot. But anyways, yeah, he won himself a Super Bowl last night on. Interesting enough, I heard this on a play in overtime as the first period of overtime was about to end, which was something that even the players didn't know how overtime rules worked. Which we'll get to that in a minute. The Chiefs ran the exact same play to win the Super Bowl against the Eagles as they did last night. That same play that McCole Hardman scored on. Granted,
corn dog.
Yeah, corn dog. That play is what got them the lead against the Eagles, but it had like 12 minutes of game left, so there was lots of time left. It wasn't like it was as time was expiring or whatever, as dramatic as it was last night. But yeah, it was the exact same play. Like they showed side by side. It was who scored it? It was Kadarius Toney scored it on the last one. So there you go. Yeah. So apparently, you want to talk about two different teams and their preparation to be in that moment. Shanahan said he wanted the ball third. Okay, that's bold, but like if you know what's going on, like you want to go second, right? You want to get the ball, you want to know what your opponent did, and you want to know what you have to do. And they, even I think it was Romo talked about it. It's like if you go second, you get an extra down, basically. Like you get the benefit of going for it on fourth downs because you have to.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have the ball first and go for it on fourth down, like you just can't do that. Like in the ultra conservative NFL, like if you go for it on fourth down and don't convert, you just screwed yourself, man. Whereas like the other team, like knowing they have to go for it.
Yeah, it kind of puts them in a corner.
So one, Shanahan took the ball first, thinking he'd get the ball third if Kansas City just tied their output, whatever it was. But then I guess they wouldn't have known this unless the Chiefs were transparent about their strategy and plans going into the game. But the Chiefs had discussed, yeah, we went with the ball second, and if we score a touchdown to tie the game, like we're going for two, so there will be no third possession.
I love that. It's all going to happen here, or it's not.
Yeah, which is like whatever. And then I know there was some confusion about like what the timing, how timing works in overtime. How like time was about to expire in the first period of overtime, although they just would have kept going. Which begs the question, like, why is there a game timer? Like, why is there a game clock?
I was about to ask that, but then I thought of something real time. And is it so they can reset the number of timeouts? Maybe that's all it is, something like that. I didn't even notice how many timeouts the coaches get in overtime, but
yeah,
maybe that's something. Maybe that's all that second one does is
you can still give them the timeouts and say, hey, like this will reset your play clock essentially. Like, hey, like if you need a 30-second reset here, like whatever, like take a timeout, and then you'll get your timeout, and then your play clock will restart. I don't know. It just felt like.
Well, but how many do you get?
An infinite amount. 2.
Well, but then what if it goes? What if you're on like if you've been playing for 22 minutes? Do you only have 2 timeouts?
I don't know. to be fair, I don't know the timing regulations. If
Me neither.
like if it's still tied after a second quarter of overtime and you've used your timeouts, do you have a halftime?
I
Do
think
you
that I think
get
the
more
NFL
timeouts?
is so rigid. Well, and I guess in the second overtime too, you would go the other direction, all that kind of stuff. Uh, but
Tech is up 19 with 9 to go.
the NFL is just so rigid. I don't see them letting the game end just on a untimed thing. It seems like they would have to quantify every single thing as opposed to, oh, it took us 7 overtimes to get enough 2-point conversions to for LSU to win or whatever. I
Yeah.
think that would make Goodell and all of those just their brains would explode. So I think, well, no, it's just they won in the first period, they won in the first overtime period, or they won in the second overtime period. Whatever it was, as opposed to just untimed chaos. We got to have that.
20.
We got to have that clock running.
Tech is up 20.
I think
9
I'm
minutes
caught
to
up
go.
with you. I figured out I was somehow delayed, and I don't know why.
That ball
I
almost went off
sneezed. I
Jimmy's
hope I hit.
face.
I hope I
Yeah.
hit mute in time. That was a big sneeze.
No, you're good. You're good. Did you have anything special on the menu last night?
I didn't because it was kind of a last second thing with the snow. So we were going to go to a Super Bowl party. It was at a friend's house in Wolfforth, and we ended up deciding against that just because we didn't know how the roads were going to be driving home, and who else was going to be who else we're going to be sharing those roads with driving
Yeah.
home. So we didn't, but that means that what we had intended to take, what my wife had made was which were awesome, a bunch of raspberry cookies that were dipped in dark chocolate.
Mm, sounds
Fantastic. But it was just that, and then we had pizza dip that we were going to take, but we were going to pick up bread on the way, and so we didn't have the bread for it, and no one wanted to go get the stuff. So anyway, long story short, we made do with what we had. We had plenty
Yeah.
of stuff to eat, but it wasn't anything intended for the Super Bowl, because we were just going to bring like pizza dip and some cookies to a party. But yeah, nobody went hungry. We had a great time. Did you have an actual menu that you prepared and thought
Well,
out?
yes and no. So we went to the in-laws' house, which is just up university from us. It's just up a university from you guys. They're just inside the loop. And we were getting together. Like it was not going to be a big deal. We were going to have a nacho bar.
Oh,
And just
nice.
have nachos and fresh fruit and just snack, which we always do. But because of when the game was and when Valentine's falls within the week, the family that owns a flower shop here in town, they did not come. They're in the thick of getting ready for the big day for them.
Yeah, I didn't
We
think
had
about that.
the weekend, and unless Valentine's Day falls on like a Friday or a Saturday, the weekend before is usually like all hands on deck all day, every day. Um, and I guess in the middle of the week, it wasn't super crazy Saturday and Sunday, but they were like, as much as we can get done, like they will pre-build basically all their arrangements because I mean, like a menu on Valentine's Day, they're going to offer you like two things, the option of two dishes. They basically say, if this is Valentine's related, then it's one of two arrangements. You get a roses arrangement or a mixed flower arrangement. And they're like, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, unless they get a call from like McGuire's special assistant. Because it wasn't out of the norm for them to get a call from Cliff Kingsbury's assistant and say, hey, we need an arrangement now. And she's like, great, on it. I just don't think it's the same person anymore. Anyways, so they were out. We had one other family that was out. So it was a much smaller group. So we didn't have the breadth of the menu that we could have had. So it was just nachos. We brought the deli tortilla chips from United and we picked up I can't remember if it was United or HEB, but they're both good. We've had them from both. A little pan of their brisket queso. Only complaint is, and they've both done it. They have like it's like a four quarters. They have two things of cheese and one thing of brisket, and then pico. But their pico is super raw onion heavy, and I'm just not the biggest fan of the flavor of raw onion. Um, so it was just a little heavy on the onion taste. Okay, are you as confused about this Johnny Furphy bit?
What has happened? Yeah, I feel like I would know more if we were listening.
Listening to it, yeah, it was like they were showing like this drop-in bear, and then this graphic of.
Is he from Australia?
I would assume so. I have no idea. And of course, Jennings can't hit the broadside of a barn when he's shooting a free throw.
Oof.
Anyway, so we had that. We had great guacamole and fresh grapes and strawberries. We just snacked, just picked all night. It was
That's
great.
the thing. That's the beauty. I mean, we had HEB has that thing where they give you free stuff, and the free thing they gave my wife a couple weeks ago when she shopped with those pretzel rods.
Okay.
And so I like housed 10 pretzel rods. I don't know why.
Because you could.
Those and Oreos. We had Oreos on hand, and man, I tweeted about that. I was nervously eating Oreos the entire overtime period.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't have taken like the game like perfectly ramped up throughout. Like it started slow.
Yeah.
It started slow. The second half, it just continually got more and more progressively entertaining. Oh, Pop, come on, dude. Oh, dunk that.
But yeah, I was.
Yes, sir.
I agree. I was really.
And then overtime was just gut wrenching. I loved it though.
No, me too. It was really a slow burn. I think things heated up after. I mean, Usher brought the heat. That's what happened.
He did. I asked Samantha as we were about to get into halftime, I was like, how does it feel to be like the target demographic audience for the halftime show?
Yeah.
She's like, what are you talking about? I was like, Usher in his prime, like that was us. And probably a little bit older than us. Like we are in that, like, this is for us.
Yeah.
Like, this is like, it's not The Weeknd, which I think is a little younger than us, although he was great a couple years ago. It's not the Eagles. It's not. I mean, Metallica could probably shred, but even them, like, that's a little bit older for us, more my brother's age.
Yeah, it's not Aerosmith, even though I've seen Aerosmith a few times.
Yeah.
No, I agree. It's been nice because I think y'all are younger than not I think. I know y'all are younger than me. So this one was probably more of that age. Ooh, big air ball by Dickinson.
He shot a three and didn't even hit the net. He was so short.
2 for 10. He is 2 for 10, my friends.
I also love Caleb Rogers leading the student section chants. That's freaking fantastic. Have you a night, man?
Dang it! I completely forgot what I was saying.
You were talking about the demographic for the halftime show.
Oh yeah, well, I feel like last year's was kind of my peak so far with Dr. Dre and Snoop.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
And Eminem, because I'm just more than a little. I'm like 6 or 7 years older than you, I think.
Well, you're not.
Yeah. Right?
I turned 35 this year.
Okay, I'm 5 years older.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel so weird to say I'm going to be 35.
I'm 40. I'm a man. I'm that guy that people talk about online. You're some 40-year-old dude tweeting about, that's me. That's it.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
You found me. So, no, I feel like that was, with me being just, a few years older than you, that was probably the most perfect nostalgia wheelhouse so far that I've experienced. Last night's was still pretty great, though, because Usher, I still remember it was 98 or so, 97 or 8 was when I really remember him coming out and getting big.
You know what chaps me about Kansas? So Bill Self will just like smirkingly talk to the ref and like he'll have a coach or two come up and it will look like they're holding him back or something. Oh, did he get ejected?
No. Did we
He
miss this?
gone. Yeah, he got ejected.
Who's he talking to?
He was talking to the ref.
Just now? Oh my
I guess
gosh. How did we
I
miss all this?
because we're talking.
Oh.
So okay, so Dickinson I think got called for a foul and then he was griping about it and then he's out there chirping at a ref. And like I said, what was cracking me up was like his entourage of assistant coaches came out there. It looked like to get him back, but then all three of them were saying something to the ref. I was like, you can't you can't be the hold me back guy and then each get a shot in. Like that doesn't. And then Pop
Oh.
Isaacs hits four free throws in a row. Just buried it.
Oh, he's calling
Yeah.
him a joke. I rewound it. He's
So
telling him you're a
oh,
joke. You're a joke.
okay. So yeah, Dickinson elbowed Jennings twice, and the referee under the basket called it, and then he called him, and then Self called him a joke. Yeah, dude, you're
No,
goodbye.
Was it? Yeah. Was it on Dickinson?
Yeah, no, he elbowed
Okay.
Jennings. Like there's a replay coming after their free throws
There
that'll
it
show up
is.
pretty good.
Yep. You're right. You're right. Yeah, you
Um,
could clearly. You are a joke. That's a
Tech
joke
back
of
up
a.
by 20 with 5 to go.
Well, if he's, if I'm down 16 on the road,
He's like, I don't want to be here for this. Apparently,
what did he say to get the second tee? He's going over there. He just keeps saying joke over and over. Oh man.
and maybe it was just enough. Like he just kept saying it. Anyways, so
Huh.
that's happening. Jennings is shooting more free throws. His season percentage has got to be like 15%.
Well, let's see where he is. Where is he on tonight? He's 4 for 6 tonight. Why are you complaining?
Because the two he's missed it just felt like they've been massive. He just hit one. Um, it's 5 of
He
7,
just
so of
missed him
course
badly. Tech's up by
uh,
22. It's fine.
it's fine. It's gonna be okay. Um, so yeah, so that was our experience with the Super Bowl. Um, you wanna do the preview for Iowa State? You want to talk about baseball?
Let's do a little Iowa State since we're still on
Okay,
basketball.
because I was gonna say the game's gonna be over before I think we can get
Well,
through
it's
baseball.
technically over already. I mean,
They're up
we're gonna,
22 with 5 to go.
I don't think we're
Um,
gonna announce or jinx a 22-point loss in 5 minutes. But we have
um,
seen that happen. We have
shut
seen
up.
Tech give up 20 to nothing
20.
run.
Yeah.
Oh God. Let's just hope that
Um,
doesn't happen. Okay, let's talk about the Cyclones and not
Cyclones.
and not Brock Purdy. I guess I will have to unmute. I'll unmute Cyclone Larry because I just could not. I could not deal with that. The second that the Niners beat the Lions, I muted Cyclone Larry on Twitter. I had to. I had to for my sanity. I couldn't take
And
2 weeks of all of that. And
I'm sure
Purdy played great. He really did. But man,
he's a good bus driver.
he
Um,
hey, he was like Sandra Bullock in Speed, man. He
yeah.
made some good throws. He played some really. I felt like he did a really good job. Never turned the ball over, although I kept expecting and hoping him to. But he made some great throws under pressure, out of the pocket, especially for the first year starter. Anyway, I'm not trying to minimize what he did, but yeah, let's change it. Let's talk about some different Cyclones.
Is the Cyclone, was the game plan here once Jennings got in was the hack of Jennings? Because he's shooting more free throws
It's
and hits
just
them both. I love this man.
he's 6 of 8, man.
He's
You are the
he's a
reverse
fantastic
Jennings jinx.
he's a fantastic free throw shooter.
Yeah.
I'm sure he wasn't the only one that had that Super Bowl tweet like I'm tired of being the Chiefs Super Bowl. But it cracked me up in the moment. I was like, that's it's funny because they were the Chiefs Super Bowl. It
Yeah,
was the game scheduled on the game circled on the schedule.
Yeah, one Ryan in the Discord had we were just talking about something else, and I forgot what he said, but it was in the exact direct context, and he said something like, "Well, I guess congrats on your Super Bowl then," and it made me laugh so hard, and I don't know. It's like, oh yeah, that's true. I don't know. It cracked me up.
Yeah, because it was funny. Cyclones. They are 10th in the AP poll. We talked about how strong they were. Haslametrics likes them even more than Kansas. Kansas was 14 coming into tonight. Iowa State is 6. They're, like I said, 10th in the AP poll. They are averaging 79 points a game and only giving up 62. Haslam has as a projection as a 10-point loss for Texas Tech. So it's going to be a tall order to make it into Hilton and not have a frustrating game just with how they do things. They shoot 47, almost 48% from the field. Texas Tech shoots 46. That percentage may go up. The season percentage may go up depending on how this game finishes. Defensively, they allow 40.5%. Texas Tech allows opponents to shoot 42.5%. They are not a great 3-point shooting team. They shoot just under 36%. Texas Tech is 37.5%. And then the 3-point defense is about the same, 33.5 for Tech, 33.6 for Iowa State. They get to the free throw line a ton, almost 23 and a half attempts per game. The saving grace here for Texas Tech is they only hit 69%. Texas Tech is still averaging 19 attempts per game and connecting on 78%. Darian Williams, I know I'm going to jinx it. He's 9 of 9 from the field. 24 points.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I mean, I knew he was having a great night, but I did not know he was throwing a no hitter so far.
Oh.
We can't jinx it. Oh, poor Dickinson. The guy just can't hit a thing. Oh, Robert.
There it is. Yeah, now you saw it. He has 8 points. That's his first field goal. My goodness, he split the defenders and just threw it down with some authority.
Dickinson is 2 for 11.
Just hate to see it. McCullough is not playing tonight. Still recovering from a knee injury. So their 2 leading scorers have 4 points. And see, I'm sitting there talking about Darian Williams and his shooting percentage, and he takes that low percentage shot and still gets it to go. My goodness.
He's having himself a night. That's for sure. It's one of those nights for him.
Up 25. Okay, sorry. We're talking about Iowa State. Ken Palm has the Cyclones at number 9, adjusted offense 45, adjusted defense at 3. So this is as good as a Chris Beard defense, but a much, much better offense.
This will be the third top 15 defense that Texas Tech will play in a row because Kansas was 14 and UCF, I believe, was 10. And of course, Tech got both of those at home, but yeah, going on the road and facing the number 3 defense is going to be a tall, tall order.
Yeah. They play Cincinnati tomorrow night. So if you want to check in on a common opponent, how they handle the Bearcats, they are 4th. Iowa State are the 4th in the Big 12 in scoring, 5th in field goal percentage, 6th in 3-point percentage, 11th in free throw percentage. Like I said, they're not they don't connect on a ton of their free throws. They just shoot just a crap ton of them. They're first in attempts. 11th in rebounding. So that may also come into play that like they're not a great rebounding team. I mean, they're better than you are, but just barely. but they're second in turnover margin. And Michael, this is ridiculous. They're up there with Houston. Houston and Iowa State are just, they're far and away like in their own tier in terms of turnover margin. They are plus almost 7 turnovers a game.
Good, not they are.
They force 17.8 and they commit just about 11. Texas Tech is fifth, so top third at turnover margin at 1.1. So there's just a huge disparity there between that and there are a bunch of teams around that 1.1, 1.2. But they are led, some players to watch. They've got 3 guys that score more than 10 points a game, and they've got 3 more that score just under 10 points in 20 minutes. So we'll do the plus 10 point guys first, and then the under 10 points. So they don't have a guy that's like a Hunter Dickinson or a Kevin McCullers or Pop Isaacs type of that'll just blow the roof off the gym. It's gonna be like a team affair. Like everybody's gonna be involved. But they're led by Keshawn Gilbert, 6'4" guard, just under 14 points per game, shoots 46% from the field, only 31% from 3, and 66% of his free throws. Adds in 4.5 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal and a half. Then there's number 1 guard Tamim Lipsy. Interesting enough, he's from Ames, Iowa. 6'1", 200, 13.2 points per game, 41% from the field, 35 from 3, 58 from the free throw stripe, 6 rebounds a game, 5 assists, and 3 steals. And then if it's not either of those guards, it is forward Milan Momch. I practiced this, and I knew I was gonna.
I'm so proud of you.
Momchilovic. I probably still butchered that. 6'8", 210 freshman, averaging 12.5 points per game, but not the big man that just gets all of his shots at the rim, right? Like we saw this with the guy from TCU that averages like 10 points a game, but he shoots like 80% from the field. No, he shoots under 38% from the field, 31% from 3, 85% of his free throws. So he gets when he gets in the line, he's connecting there. But even though he's 6'8", doesn't add a bunch of rebounds, only 2.5 rebounds a game. And then the other guys that are scoring about 10 points per game, guard Curtis Jones, forward Trey King, and forward Robert. D5 just hits a 3, still hasn't missed. Robert Jones. Curtis Jones, Robert Jones, not related. I was curious about that, looked it up. No, not related. So those are your guys offensively. Defensively, they're going to be a handful. They are 18-5 on the season, 7-3 in Big 12 play. You take them on. I don't know if it's better to play names in the morning or at night. But yeah, I'm going to say probably a morning tip may help the atmosphere for you.
I feel like 11 a.m. is your best shot. But still, it's going to be tough. That's still enough time for the kids to be out of bed and be in line.
D5 hits another shot.
Who's this number 23? Gosh. This kid wearing the 23 jersey.
That's Grant's son. It's Beckett.
Is it really?
Yeah, they're just showing them. He's loving it.
He probably knows that Williams hasn't missed. Oh, it is Beckett. Okay, duh.
I only knew that because they flashed up his name on the screen.
He is having a great time.
I'm selfish. D5, don't take another shot, man. Don't do it.
You want him to end on a make?
Dude, Texas Tech is up 27.
Against number 6 Kansas.
This reminds me, this was a few years ago. I think it was 2019 when you ran Kansas out of the gym, but you ran them out of the gym in the first half when you got up like 19 or 20 before half.
Well, and that was when I think were both teams in the top 10.
I think so. It was
at that point, or even the top 5 or something. There was a lot weighing on that, and there was a graphic coming up tonight and I'm going to miss it by one because I'm really good at that sort of thing. But I think Bill Self has won 8 of the last 9 against Tech until tonight. And so that was the one.
Yeah.
But I remember that one too. I remember where I was. For some reason, we were at, it's not 4 anymore, but for some reason, my wife and I decided to watch it at the golf place that night. What is it? It's not 4 anymore. It's something else.
It's not Top Golf.
It was never Top Golf. Yeah.
It was never Top Golf. It was 4. And then it's like, it's some other driving range. Now it's going to bother me. Hold on.
Shooters.
No.
No. Oh, okay.
Golf Suites. Would never have pulled that out of a hat.
It's a little more straightforward. Okay, Williams is out of the game, so
they sat him down. Oh, they're putting in a walk on.
Oh, I love it.
That?
I love it.
Who's number 10?
Are we pulling deep from the bench against freaking Kansas?
And Lamar Washington getting some play.
Yeah, Lindsey's out there. Yalejo's out there. McMillan's the only guy out there who actually plays.
Francis gets a rebound. God bless.
He's on the board. He registered a stat.
McMillan's running the point, and Grant's like, just slow it down. Reminds me of the games when you're up big with Beard. He's like, no shots. And then we put up like an alley-oop. He got pissed.
He was not
or faux pissed. So
this doesn't feel like it has the weight that 2019 game did, or whatever year that was. But this still is
is still fun. This is
really
a lot
good
of fun.
feeling.
So yeah, you're gonna have a tough go at it. I think. I mean, it's gonna be just a difficult game. Oh, that feed from Francis. And then Kyron Lindsey with the reverse. That was beautiful.
Oh, that was a no look. Oh, man. The guys on the bench are loving it.
Kyron Lindsey with the block. Oh, and Francis is going to dribble out the game. Oh, you hate to see it. A walk-on dribbles out the clock against number 6, Kansas. The Jayhawks are in shambles. Bill Self is...
He's on the bus, I guess.
Incredulous in the locker room.
He might be at Preston Smith. Who knows? Who knows where he is? Okay, yeah. Hunter Dickinson finishes. I want to read this. Let me read this.
Please, no. I'm here for it.
3 fouls, 3 assists, 7 rebounds, 5 points on 2 of 12 shooting. He was 0 for 2 from 3, and he hit 1 free throw. 1 of 2.
He was having a rough night. He didn't have his buddy.
Darian Williams, the smallest number 4 or the biggest guard you've ever seen. 30 points, 12 of 12 shooting, including 4 of 4 from 3.
Freaking points. 2
of 2, perfect from the line, free throws. 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 foul. That's it. A nice little double-double on perfect shooting from every aspect of the game. Well done, sir. Unbelievable. Tech wins 79-50.
29-point victory for your Red Raiders. Huge win there to break up. I was concerned about the stretch here. Had you lost on Saturday, and then the game you had tonight against Kansas, like you can really pile up because the schedule didn't do you any favors. Because you leave here on the road Saturday in Hilton. But you win tonight. You move to, what are we now? 18-6, 7-4 in Big 12 play. You were in a tie for 4th. Now you're in a tie for 3rd. Nope. No, you're all by yourself in 3rd. Because Houston's first at 8-3, and then Iowa State at 7-3. Kansas was 3rd at 7-4. You are now 7-4, but they're 7-5. So you take over winning percentage points there. up into third. But you take on Iowa State this weekend, so it may be short-lived. Plus other games this week, how that all shakes out. And then Texas Tech, they return home next Tuesday night, so we'll have another episode just like this where we're talking through the game because it's an 8 p.m. tip. It won't be like a late instant reaction. It'll be we talk through it. TCU 16-7, 5-5 on ESPN. The Dose.
And TCU did win tonight. They played West Virginia, I believe, at home. And
yes, they did. So they're 17-7, 6-5 in Big 12 play. Go ahead and update those numbers. All right. That was. There's just not much to say besides that was just a thing of beauty to watch that game.
That was great. I loved it. I mean, the way Tech shot from three, they were. They ended up finishing. They ended up finishing 38%. So they shot 8 of their 10 made threes came in the first half. Fine, whatever it takes.
Yeah, you were 2 of. Well, that's Kansas. Why is Kansas showing as the? No, sorry, you were 2 of 12 from 3 in the second half.
Yeah,
2 of 12.
But
had you not been up big, that would have been.
Texas Tech had a little cheat code.
Darian Williams.
Number 5 out there.
D5.
Another very important number 5 in the Texas Tech pantheon this weekend.
Yeah, 2 in football, 1 in men's basketball. At least 1 in men's basketball. I don't have the roster, the historical roster, or baseball to really tell you all the great number 5s that have been through the halls at Texas Tech. Isaac's not a great night. 7 points, 1 of 9 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3. Perfect from the charity stripe, and he hit all those as let himself out to the parking lot.
You're correct. Offensively, not super productive, but only 1 turnover and 5 assists and only 1 foul. So he was able to find a way to contribute, but yeah, shooting was not on his side tonight. Yeah, and I thought Toussaint was about to have a game, and then he didn't, at least offensively.
Had you not got the production from Darian Williams tonight, we would have, like, this game would have been like, your guards, man, we got to figure something out. Because they combined, Pop Isaac, Joe Toussaint combined for 13 points on 3 of 18 shooting. They did have 8 combined assists.
Correct, which is great.
And only 2 turnovers between them.
I wonder how many of those were to Williams. They're just like, let's just get it to Darian tonight.
Yeah, well, you
get a bucket.
You feed the hot hand, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. I feel like we saw something pretty monumental tonight, getting to see that kind of shooting performance from anyone.
We got a couple guys showing up to the chat here. One, Chase says the Bill Self tantrum to get tossed, so we had something to complain about, is amazing. And then he also asked us to start bench cut these chants. Overrated, FUKU, and we want Kevin. Start we want Kevin, because that's amazing.
I mean, the FUKU it's the most lyrical. It's the most musical, I guess I should say.
I'd like to cut both of those, because overrated, like, it's stupid, right?
Well, both of those have the same. Okay, we're cutting the same song, just different lyrics, because they're both forms of right.
Yeah, but just the message behind overrated, saying like, we beat you, so you must not be that good.
Yeah, the overrated thing is
like, you're actually kind of taking a shot at yourself.
I'm really partial to Go Start the Bus. The keys jangling.
I like jingling keys. Yeah.
I mean, let's keep that. Let's bring that one back. That's an old standard. That may be showing. I may be showing my age there. But Go Start the Bus, man. Let's just jingle some keys. They could have been doing that the last 8 minutes. Just every time out. Get the keys out, kids. Do kids still carry keys? I don't know. Bobby, do you have yeah, I mean, did you want to get to some baseball?
I do, man. I've got to get
I
to some
will be
baseball.
honest with you, as you know. I'm going to be relying on you a lot for this baseball segment.
All right, well, let's do it then.
You got this.
All right, baseball first pitch this weekend, Friday evening in Arlington, Globe Life Field. We talked about it. They will hit 5 straight in Arlington to start the season. Tennessee, Nebraska, Oregon, UTA, and Oregon State. 2 of those are top 10 teams in Tennessee and Oregon State. Preseason, all the preseason awards and watch lists and all that kind of stuff has come out. I will just say, if you like playing the underdog, like you're set up well here. You're picked 4th in the Big 12. Now, granted, it's top heavy, loaded Big 12, behind TCU, Texas, and Oklahoma State. No surprises by any of those teams being ahead of you. Those are all fantastic baseball programs. It does feel like a very clear top tier of these 4 teams, and even within that, you can probably have some gradation there and say like Tech has the most to prove. I think that's why they're 4th. You got to figure out your starting rotation, and if your bullpen is going to be able to contribute and continue to step up. We know the offense is there. Offensively, like this could be a really powerful and fun club to watch. The other teams I think are just a lot more settled, and they didn't get hit hard with the portal departures that you did. You weren't they weren't the Arkansas feeder program that you found yourself to be with losing Mason Molina and Hudson White. But also, flip side, you do get a couple guys back from injury that maybe, knock on wood, we're going to be figured to help out in the rotation, not only on the mound but on the out in the field. Excuse me. So, one that opened up a lot of playing time, a lot of innings for guys that may not have contributed as much last season. So now that they've got a lot more time, and then you get these guys back to help buoy up all that kind of depth and rotation possibilities. This may be a Tim Tadlock dream, because you know how he likes to tinker with the lineups, especially early on. Never plays the same group of guys, always moving guys around. Although I would say, in terms of like looking around the field and who's going to play where, you can probably not even pencil in like Sharpie and a couple of guys at positions that they won't be moved. And that's probably going to be Kevin Bazell behind the dish. He's going to be able to move back to catcher, open up some space there. Hudson White, whatever happened last year that bounced Bazell to third, maybe it was not having a third baseman or the injury to Travis Sanders late in the spring. Because he had the opportunity obviously to be one of your main catchers last year, but played every day at third base. He will be your everyday catcher, at least your starting catcher there, and then Gavin Cash at first. Around the rest of the infield, second, short, third, you would feel pretty good about Cade McGee, the Gonzaga transfer, coming in at third base. Tracer Lopez at short, although he could be flipped over to second base, depending on who steps up and who's able to take those innings of that spot there. But the middle infield, I think you got great options with Lopez, Will Burns, Travis Sanders, a guy that you expected a lot from last season, but didn't end up getting to play because of injury. And then new guys, TJ Pompey and Landon Stripling, all figure to be guys that you'll see a lot of there in the infield. Outfield, you'll notice I didn't say Austin Green there at second base. He's been flipped out to the outfield. I think he's going to move to left field, but that's just because I think you've got guys that have played right field more that are able to go there a little more fluidly. Granted, I don't know if Austin Green's played right field or left field, if there's any kind of history there. Center, I think you can say that's pretty clearly going to be Gage Harrelson, uh, with what he was able to provide to you at near the top of your lineup last season, um, and just defensively what he was able to do out in center, and then right field. Owen Washburn, I think, should factor back into the rotation out there. Um, but your corner outfielders, are, like I said, it's going to be some combination of Austin Green, Owen Washburn, Damian Bravo has got a chance there, and maybe even a Drew Woodcox. Although Woodcox could also be your DH. Um, and then new guys, Garrett Bame and Davis Rivers. Rivers uh, was super impressive in the fall. I've not heard. Well, I haven't heard anything about anybody in the spring, but I haven't heard if that had continued this spring. But he was just destroying baseballs in the fall. I think where everybody's like really wanting to see is what your pitching rotation and your bullpen's going to look like. Um, I think you feel really good about the potential you have with Kyle Robinson. He was your game one starter, and then obviously was able to turn it back on there late in the season. I felt really good about Rogers there. I think the last performance you saw from him against Florida, I said, man, this guy's got like weekend rotation kind of stuff. Um, but other guys you could or should see being considered here: Zane Petty, Mac Hoyer, Trenton Parrish could find himself back in the starting rotation. Tabor Fast, and then Jack Washburn. You got him transferred in, and he got injured, missed all of last season. So you could get both Washburn brothers on the field at the same time, which I think would be pretty cool. Um, I just anecdotally as a story, but if healthy, I think he could be one of your guys there. Um, and then I think the biggest question, at least for me, um, was what are you gonna do with your bullpen? Because that was the issue. Um, like you had a couple of guys you could go to, but then there was a lot of guys you're like, man, I really don't know uh, who we're gonna see or what we're gonna get. Um, I think you'd feel pretty good about Josh Sanders out of the bullpen. Um, if Rogers isn't going to be a starter, you'd feel pretty good about him. Um, same thing with Parrish. Um, then other guys to be on the lookout for. I've heard positive things about freshman Parker Hutira Hutira. I had no idea. Um, Isaiah Rhodes, he's a fifth year senior. Joe Sockwell, um, Carson Preeb, Cole Cass, Chandler Coe. Um, yeah, sorry, those were the and Tabor Fast. Uh, Brendan Lysick, Derek Bridges, Ryan Free, Zach Erdman. These are all your left-handers. That's why they were broken up on the roster. And Max Huffling, um, the 6'9" guy that you got from Abilene. So if Tadlock and staff can pull the strings there and figure out the bullpen issues and kind of shore that up a little bit, I think you can look forward to one having a really successful and exciting offense, and then not have to win as many games 20-16,
Oof.
12-10.
Yeah.
You may win those 12-2, 12-4, and feel just as good about your chances to extend your season. Are you going to be able to make it back and out of a regional? I would love to tell you how confident I am in that. You haven't had bad teams, but what happens is you get when you're playing in the Big 12 baseball conference, you get beat up a little bit. You got to prove your worth. In the postseason, you've been knocked a little bit in your postseason seeding, so you have to scrap in your regionals, right? So you had a pretty strong matchup there in the Georgia Georgia State regional a couple years ago against Notre Dame, who made it into Omaha, and then last year in the Gainesville regional, going up against a national runner-up in Florida, and taking them to a winner take all game. You got up to the 2-0 start in the regional, but lost twice there at home, or to the Gators at home for them. So, like, I don't have any like I expect Omaha, I expect a super regional. I would hope to see them be able to get to that kind of stage, depending on how the bullpen shakes out. I'm supremely confident in the offense, but if you don't have the defense, especially on the mound, then you'll only go as far as they can take you. Because everybody's got bats, man. So I'm starting to lose my voice again, but that's where I'm at with baseball. I'm super excited about it, Michael.
I can tell. Are you going to subscribe to Flow Sports this weekend?
Only if I have to.
You
I don't know
might.
if I want to spend $30 to watch 5 games, but I may.
You can watch the other ones too. You can scout.
I don't care about other college baseball programs at this point in the season. I just want to watch Texas Tech baseball.
Oh, okay. 5 games for $6 a game. That's not crazy, right?
I mean,
especially if you're sitting down and watching all of them. But
I'd have to watch all of them.
Yeah, I don't think your family would be cool with like, oh, sorry,
because it's a 4-hour commitment.
Yeah, he's got like 24 hours of baseball to watch this weekend.
I know we went through the schedule a little bit. I wanted to give just a quick breakdown on the conference schedule. Your home and away. So your home conference series this year will be Texas, starting off 3 weeks from now, March 8th. BYU. Unfortunately, you do not travel to Provo because I think that would have been a really cool trip, especially with BYU being picked tied to finish last in the conference. That would have been a fun trip to make, and hope to get out of that that road series with W. Houston, West Virginia, and OU. Oklahoma and West Virginia are tied to finish 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th, at least in the coaches preseason poll. And then your away conference series, your road conference series, Baylor, UCF, which I think could be a really fun trip. TCU is always going to be an exciting and competitive trip, especially since they've been picked to win this year. Kansas, and then Oklahoma State. So of the 4 teams ahead of you, you get 2 of them on the road. You do get Texans at home early, but you do get them at home. Unfortunately, with the way the number of Big 12 teams and then schools that don't play baseball, what do you do in Iowa State? You do miss 2 schools. You don't play Kansas State or Cincinnati this year. Cincinnati is the other team tied with BYU to finish last. And then Kansas State is picked to finish 5th, right behind you. So the Big 12 standings, the projected standings, TCU, Texas, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, Kansas State, Oklahoma, West Virginia tied, Kansas, Houston, UCF, Baylor, BYU, and Cincinnati tied to finish last. Your non-conference, I think, is going to have quite a bit of a step up. We've talked about the series against Stanford. You get them back in Lubbock. You've got non-conference, although they will be a conference opponent. You get Arizona State. When is that? You play them Thursday.
Schedule. Yeah.
May 16th, and then you get a doubleheader in Tempe. You get UNLV Friday afternoon, and then Arizona State again Friday night to end your regular season. Other non-conference, obviously, you get home and home with New Mexico. You get a trip to Arkansas, which is going to be tough. You play Abilene Christian in Abilene, which we know how that went last year.
Mm-hmm.
Although you do get the benefit of having one of those games move back with weather. Home,
Well, half of it.
yeah, home 2-game series versus Stanford. Um, sorry, you do play 2 games against Abilene. You do get 2 games against ASU this year. It's split home and away. New Mexico State, Gardner Webb, Texas Southern. So you don't get as many bottom teams in your non-conference play. Obviously, Texas Southern and Gardner Webb. New Mexico State probably.
Get the
Usually pretty
Molina rematch though.
yeah, usually pretty competitive there with New Mexico. Surprisingly competitive with ACU. It's not a good thing. Stanford, Molina, you could face. Although I would expect he could figure into their weekend rotation. So when you play them Tuesday, Wednesday, you may not see him. You'll probably see Hudson White, but non-conference I think is quite a bit better this year than in years past. Long story short, I'm excited about baseball. We're going to do our best to bring you the baseball content. We'll see if we can get Keith in on a recording or two. I know his schedule and commitments will probably keep him from producing regular podcast content for Dinger Derby, but can't hurt to see if we can get him to join us a night or two as we get this thing going. All right, let's wrap this up, Michael, and get to what do we learn. What do you say?
Okay.
What did we learn, Palmer?
I don't know, sir.
I don't know either.
It's about the only bumper we play these days besides the intro and outro. One, I should have written it down. I had a question for you, but I forgot it.
Oh man.
And I was like, this is gonna be great. We'll have a question to talk about on the podcast. But what do we learn? One, we got Winter's last ditch effort to drag us down this past weekend. Obviously, if y'all are in Lubbock or the area, know we had between 3 and 8 inches of snow, depending on where you were. It is before we hit record tonight, it was all gone. It had melted. And not a particularly warm day today. I think it got to 40, maybe.
Yeah,
but it was just it was just warm enough, and it was sunny. It was sunny all day. So you got the experience of snow. You got a little bit of ice this morning since it was like in the 20s overnight. It was not a particularly cold snow yesterday, so it did melt some and slush up and refreeze. But even that seemed to get cleared up pretty quickly. On the way to my in-laws' house, we saw this car parked basically in the intersection of 98th and University. It also was like the worst of the storm had passed, but it was still snowing off and on. Stopped, and then like this driver was out, nonchalantly dusting snow off of her windshield. I had not seen what had
Parked
happened
at an intersection.
Yeah, and like here's the thing: 4 inches deep. I was like, you only cleared off like enough to see out of your the driver's windshield. I think what had happened is that when she stopped at the intersection, what was on her roof came down and covered up her windshield. Because there was snow nowhere else on her car except for her windshield.
That's why you clear the snow off your roof. It's dangerous.
Well,
and off your hood.
Yeah.
Just everywhere. Okay. So that's go ahead. Sorry.
No,
you know where I'm about to go.
I was trying to set you up.
So like 3 cars yesterday. If I could have pulled them over and given them tickets, like as a citizen's arrest, I would have. And 2 of them were today. One was yesterday, Sunday. Uh, while it was still snowing, we had left our little one over at my mom's house. She spent the night with over there on Saturday night, and so I was going to pick her up Sunday morning. And there was a 4-door pickup whose entire side windows were covered in snow, and just driving, nothing, no big deal. And I thought that was bad, but then
that's pretty bad.
I saw two that topped it today. And what's worse about, at least then you kind of tell yourself, okay, it's still snowing. They just got in the truck. They needed to go do what they needed to do. You should still clear all that crap off your car. But fine. Then today, 2-hour delay. So my wife had somewhere she needed to be. So I took the little one to school this morning. So 9:30 this morning. And we just talked about how beautiful the weather was this morning. Sun shining. Birds are singing. There's a jackass driving a minivan with about 1 square foot cleared off of his windshield.
He was running
taking
late,
his
Michael.
kids to school.
Only had time to clear off enough that he could see directly in front of him.
Driving to an elementary school with small children. Let's just do the absolute bare minimum. I would have put that guy in jail if I could have figured out how to do it. I was screaming.
I've been
luckily had dropped my kid off, because otherwise she would have. I don't know if I could have held that in, because it was so dangerous. Like the sides, couldn't see out of the sides, couldn't see out of the windshield itself, except for just enough to run forward. Oh my goodness, brother!
I've been in enough of a rush before that I've left the house with some frost, like some frost on the windshield or like a side window.
At
But
9:30 though.
No. It's bothered me enough that I never made it to the end of the street before I jumped out. Like, no, I can't do this. Like, I'm too worried. I'm not gonna see something.
That was me. That'd be me
Like
too. I'm gonna be
re-scraped
that
again.
guy. I'm gonna be that guy that I'm gonna hit a kid or something. And
My depth perception of this car. I'm gonna T-bone
Yeah.
somebody in an intersection because I couldn't see them well enough. Yeah.
and then there
No,
was
this dude.
Yeah, this guy was awful. Very dangerous. And like I said, I can't stress this enough. It's 9:30. The last snow fell in Lubbock, Texas, probably at 5 p.m. last night. So
They had plenty of time to work on it.
yes, even I mean,
Put it off.
let's just let's get out there. Let's get out there at 9:05, guy, and just do a little bit. Just do a little bit of something.
Just use your hand, like sweep it off, man.
Yes.
Or your wipers.
Ah. Well, the wipers
Um,
probably fused. They probably blew a
fused the
fuse
glass,
because
yeah.
there was too much weight on them. There was one more though, and then I'll stop. But on I-27 today, there was a young lady who
on
must
the
be
highway.
vertically challenged.
Talking like
This-
4'8".
It's cracked me up so much because she was driving not a big SUV. I don't know what it was, but like a RAV4 kind of size,
Oh, a 4Runner for sure then.
It's something like that. It's a G-Wagon. No, I don't know what it was. But on each side, she tried. I mean, homegirl needs a stepladder though, but she tried. And so on each side of the windshield, there was like this very small semicircle.
Of only the space she could reach.
Yes. Like you could tell exactly where the forearm checked out. Like this
Her
is it.
arms this far,
We can't.
no farther.
So
Oh
d-
man.
with that effort, I think she may have cleared 50% of the snow.
Oh, it's terrible.
Driving 75 on I-27. Beautiful. Let's just all die on the way to work. It's great.
What would have been even better though if she could have reached the whole thing. Like, nope, this is enough.
This is it. I'm good. and last time, I cannot stress this enough. This was at 9:30 in the morning. Get off your butt and go outside before 9 before you need to get in your car. 5-10 minutes before tops.
All right. I've got two things. One is a surprise. Michael. No, sorry. It's Michael's birthday.
What? No, it's not.
Did you not know that?
It's my birthday.
Yeah, it's Michael's birthday. Hold on. I set this up and the stupid thing isn't working.
I don't hear anything.
No, I know. That's the problem. Just bear with me, folks.
So it's Monday, February 12th, and this is somehow my birthday.
Yes. It's your birthday. Just okay. Just come on.
Come on. What are you up to over there?
I'm trying to connect my phone to the board via Bluetooth because
Oh,
as I
boy.
tried to play it, it was playing on the speakers. Although I could just change the audio output on the computer and not be stupid. Hold on. I got this. Here we
You're
go.
professional. Okay.
Here we go. It's Michael's birthday.
I can't hear it.
You can't hear that?
No, I can hear you.
Why is... Hold the phone. Well, I'm trying to play a joke. It's Michael McDonald's birthday, but not the Michael McDonald. It's the other Michael McDonald.
Is it really?
Yeah, I was trying to
How
play...
old is he? He's got to be late
Dead?
70s, right?
I don't know.
How dare you? He's alive.
I was trying to play a banger from when he was with the Doobie Brothers, but
Which one did you play?
I had started You Belong to Me. Here. You have any...
72. 72 years old.
You have any others?
You know what's funny? He got married the year I was born.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Is there a connection there?
Probably not.
No, there's not.
Is there a good Doobie Brothers or a Michael McDonald song that we should play to honor this man's birthday?
Ain't No Mountain High Enough. He covers that one.
I thought that was I was like, that's not that can't be him.
Oh yeah.
What's the song? Or I guess there could be many like that he sings, but it was written by Kenny Loggins.
What?
They played it. I know there's a song.
This Is It? That's the name of the song. I'm not being funny or something. There's a song called This Is It.
Is that the one I was thinking of? Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. This is so stupid. This is not even worth anymore.
Oh, What a Fool Believes. Or This Is It. I don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna play What a Fool Believes. Oh, it's live. This sucks. No, that's not. Well, hold on. No, that's not it. What was the other one?
That's not it. This Is It.
No, I was trying to what a fool believes.
This Is It.
I'm looking for that one. It's not. You would think if it's in it, if it's such a banger, it would be in his top songs on Apple Music. What the heck? This is it. Michael McDonald, and I'm. It's not even. You talking about Michael Jackson? There's not a This Is It song by Michael McDonald. You're trolling me. Whatever. It's Mike McDonald's birthday. The joke was destroyed. The other
Well, I
thing,
appreciate you thinking of me.
actually related to our wheelhouse. Have you ever heard of a fried pickle dip?
I think so.
Okay, I heard about it today. From
Yes.
our guys' meat church down in Waxahachie. Unfortunately, I have not tried it yet, but the video I saw on it looks freaking fantastic.
My wife might have made it once. Or I feel like I've had it and it was at the house. Or we bought it. Maybe we bought it at HEB. It might have been something like that. I think I have had it and it lived up to the hype. But
So
I don't remember exactly what form it was.
I've tried fried pickle popcorn from Something's Poppin', and that was
I,
pretty good.
I wanted to ask about that because we're getting some popcorn for my little one's Valentine's Day party. And I think that was one of the my wife's picking up like a big bag of popcorn just to take. But then she thought, well, while we're there, let's get some samples. And they had
Well,
that, and I think
be
she picked that
careful.
up.
Because one, they will let you sample anything while you stand there, and they'll hand you like
I
one of those
meant
little.
no. She just from the order. She just wants to get like.
Do you need some recommendations?
Yes, please. So fried pickles, apparently, which was already
It's-
on our short list.
Fried pickles is good. So if you want like a traditional, like their movie theater butter popcorn is good.
Yeah.
Their kettle corn is good.
Mm.
Caramel is good. Like the standards are good. You would hope so at a place that does nothing but popcorn. Then they have two other categories. They have like a cheesy category and then a
Mhm.
sweet category. And I'll give you a couple of recommendations from both of those, okay?
Okay.
Okay, on the cheesy side, what you need to do, the play is to mix. Hold on, let me find it. Sour cream and onion,
Oh man, that was on the list too. That was on the short list.
and it's not on their online menu, but it's like a baked potato.
Oh yeah.
So then like, you get like a loaded baked potato
Yes.
mix. That's good.
They have a baked potato
I-
popcorn flavor. Very interested in that.
Their bacon flavor is off the charts. It's really, really good. Their online menu does not show everything they have, unfortunately. Going into the store is just it's fantastic because one, you smell everything. They also have candies and stuff and
Yeah.
like boutique sodas and glass bottles. Gosh, I wish their website sucks. Honestly, I'll just be honest. Their website sucks. You have to go in. You have to sample everything. On the sweet side, puppy chow,
Oh man.
really
Yeah.
good. Cinnamon bun, also really good.
I'm typing these down. I'm writing these
So
down.
puppy chow, you're gonna get more than just popcorn in it, right? Like you're gonna get some checks
Oh
too.
sure. Yeah. Yeah.
But the rest of the popcorn flavors are mostly just popcorn with their seasoning. Seasonally though, they're doing like a chocolate covered strawberry. That's actually really good. So it's like a strawberry flavoring on the popcorn with like a chocolate drizzle on it. That was surprisingly good. But the bacon one, like the cheesy bacon or whatever it is, that's good. When
Have you
they
had
say
their pickle, their dill pickle, or their
it's
fried
okay.
one?
It tastes like a fried dill pickle. And I think they even put like a little bit of ranch seasoning on it too. So it's like you dipped it in ranch. They just weren't my favorites of their savory ones. Just a warning though, if they say something is spicy, it is going to kick your nuts.
Really?
It is
Spicy
hot.
popcorn.
So like they have like a cheesy jalapeno, which sounds great. Like jalapenos aren't that hot. Like that kicked my butt, dude. It was so dang hot. I was like, y'all, Jalapenos aren't even this hot. So
Okay.
yeah,
I
there you
made
go.
some notes because yeah, my wife's definitely asleep. So I don't so I will go to sleep and then remember none of this. I guess I could listen back.
Listen to the show. No, but like,
What were those popcorn recommendations Spencer had? Hang
one,
on.
the three
I'll
of
tell
y'all
her to
should,
listen.
the three of y'all should go into the store together. Just
Yeah,
like,
we
no,
should.
like, dear wife, you can't go without me.
Oh, we totally should. Yes.
Because
Because
like I said, they will let you sample everything, and they got like 50 flavors, and they're all in big buckets.
I like popcorn quite a bit, but my wife and daughter love popcorn. Like they're all about the toppers, and they're
Mhm.
all about it, man. And so yeah, we should definitely go in there as a family. Good
Also,
plan.
they've got like some tables of candy that you pay for by the pound. So just be aware of that. If you walk in like, man, chocolate covered pretzels sound really good, or chocolate covered peanuts. It's there, and you will be walking out with pounds.
Man, we went to the Lady Raiders game Saturday night, and oh man, that was just kind of one of those heartbreaking games where they were never really in it until the very end, and then they just kept throwing the ball away. It was just really frustrating. But Maupin played awesome. She did really well. And then number 3 for UCF, Peterson, I believe. She's an incredible player too. I think she played every single second of the game. Anyway, Mike and Ike sours. They had those for sale at concessions. And I love Mike and Ike's. And these may be the best version of Mike and Ike's.
There
I
you
was
go.
really impressed with the Mike and Ike sours. I'd never had those before. So good job on hospitality or whoever Texas Tech uses to contract the concessions, man. They picked a banger of a candy.
Yeah.
Oh, great. I have a gray whisker on my little microphone thing.
I was gonna say, you have a gray whiskers. Like, welcome to the club. I've got plenty. Anyways, the fried pickle dip meat church. I need to try it. But it calls for whipped cream cheese. I was like, I need to figure out
Yes.
how to do that. But
Well,
it's
you
whipped
can
cream
buy
cheese.
it. You can buy it whipped.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that solves that. Sour cream, actual dill pickles, not like dill pickle seasoning. Ranch, onion powder, lemon juice, garlic, dill, chives, lemon pepper seasoning, and then your thick potato chips. And they've got with like
Yes.
wavy lays, which you turned me on to using those as a dip chip. I've never thought about that on those Fiesta dips.
Oh, those Gandies. Whatever.
Gandies, yes.
Yeah. All those different little dips, the green chili and the Fiesta and the yes.
Yeah. And then they also
Wavy
have
lays, man.
some toasted panko as well to give it some crunch.
Oh, there it is. I swear, I think maybe my wife must have picked some up from a grocery store somewhere and we had it and I think we liked it. The version we had, I don't think it's kind of coming back to me. We didn't get it again because I think it was really, really salty, especially once you put it on a salty potato chip. So that might be one thing to consider. But if you're making it yourself, I bet you can kind of dilute it a little bit if you need to.
Yeah, well, it doesn't look like it calls for any salt in the recipe, except for the pickles and the ranch
Yeah.
seasoning will have salt in it.
Gosh, that looks really good. Yeah, I think those are Ruffles, but I would definitely go with the wavy lays. I feel like that would give you a better.
Or Ruffles, yeah, just whatever.
Yeah.
Some sturdy chip.
Yeah, you can't go Pringles in there. You'll just.
Or like the regular Lays.
Yeah, they'll just stay in there.
Yeah. All right, that'll do it for us in 23 Personnel Podcast. Hour and a half in, got you a live recap, watch, instant reaction to Kansas, just derailment. Loved it. 79-50 are your Raiders victorious over the Jayhawks. Prepping you for the trip to Ames this weekend, and then baseball season starting on Friday. All that. But for Michael, I'm Spencer. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you for listening to the 23 Personnel Podcast. Help us out by subscribing, rating the show, and leaving a review. Follow us on Twitter at 23 Personnel, Spencer at PuntSuck, and Michael at Michael_LBK. Be sure to catch the next episode. And until then, guns up and let the tortillas fly.